Freaky fun for everyone. Sold
Leonardo, the katana blade.
Attack the evil Inhumanoid, forcing him back into the earth.
Hey, the name's Boglin. You sold separately.
Battle on He-Man and Skeletor each sold separately. You put them out together.
Turn them into the light, and they change into even more powerful.
Battle against Lion-O and the new Thundercat ally.
Hey guys, Dirt here. Today we're taking a look at the Tiny Arcade set. This has been out for a few months now, but these are just so awesome. In fact, this is one of those things where I bought one a couple months ago and I thought this is the only one I need, and I played it for a little bit and thought, oh man, now I have to go buy all the rest. So took a little while to track them all down. I had bought these at some of these at Toys R Us, but of course Toys R Us going out of business. It's hard to find stock on stuff. Once they're sold out, it's gone. So this was, I had to, search around. I took a trip to Chicago, and it gave me the opportunity to stop at a bunch of Toys R Us's on the way and get the last one I needed to complete my set. But you can see here, we've got Galaxian, Ms. Pac-Man, Pac-Man, and Space Invaders. A nice set of early arcade classics. Now, you can see they just come in these clear plastic boxes. You can see the arcade machine inside, and it looks like a full arcade machine. You can see that these are part of the world's smallest line. They make world's smallest G.I. Joe, Yo-Yo, Rubik's Cube, Barbies, Hot Wheels, whatever, and this is part of that whole fun. The smallest fully functional arcade cabinet, joystick and button controls. Original gameplay, it says, includes a game. 3 AAA batteries actually come inside, keychain, and instructions. And yes, if you turn to the back, you can see there's actually a keychain. This one's fallen out of that plastic, but there it is. There's also a power switch down here, which lets you switch it from demo to full play mode. And if I turn it on real quick, you can see that there's actually a screen on the inside, and it is running a demo mode, an attract mode, is what they would call it back in the arcade days, to try to get people to walk over and play it. Let's see if I can zoom in and keep this in focus. Well, here, we'll do it, on all these actually when we get them out of the case. But you can see that it's actually running full video. So it is not just... and there's even a little bit of sound. So we'll make sure we try to get all that. But nonetheless, these things are incredible. They all come in basically the same type of package. So keeping that in mind, let's go ahead and we'll start with, I think, Space Invaders, then Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, and then Galaxian. And we'll do them in that order. Alright, so here is Space Invaders. I wasn't going to go ahead and just pop it open, but I wanted to point out something first I just noticed. If you look at the side of the box, you can see that it's actually at an angle here. Now, that's something they didn't need to do. If you look on the inside, there's nothing up there. In fact, the arcade machine itself just stops right here. This is all dead space, but they gave it that little bit of a lean there so that it'll actually more better emulate the shape of an arcade cabinet. Cabinet always is a little taller in front, curves to the back. Some of these machines in the early days, if you saw these, they were actually all weather. They would actually sit outside, and so the rainwater would roll off that way. Now, a lot of machines aren't that way, but there were some made that way, and so you saw them outside, on piers and docks, and trailer parks would have them outside the clubhouse, whatever. But anyway, I just thought that was neat and wanted to point that out real quick before we rip this open. Now, as far as ripping this open goes, it is sealed, so we'll break the seal here and we'll open, and here at the bottom are our inserts here. This one I think is just a catalog, yeah. So they make rubber band guns, okay. They make some yokai watch stuff. Rolling beans. Oh, those are like the jumping beans. I don't know if you remember those. Those were a thing for a month. Super Glow Ball Wizard, the original top. Wow, okay. 3D Moto kits. So, like erector sets, it looks like. Metal things with a little wind-up or pullback motion. On this side, here's some more of the world's smallest toys: the Rubik's, Army Men, Etch-a-Sketch, Duncan Yo-Yo, Fisher-Price telephone. There's G.I. Joe, Magic 8-Ball, Stretch Armstrong, Pound Puppies. Oh, I haven't seen those. Silly Putty, Pez, Gumby, Pokey, Barbie. Okay, and then we've got world's coolest mini collectibles, which includes a Polaroid, a turntable. It says laptop, but I mean, it's a MacBook. Why wouldn't you want to use a real computer? Classic football, basketball, baseball in these Mattel electronics. Where's the soccer? Come on now. You're going to redo all these machines and they never do the soccer. It makes me sad because soccer was the only one I had as a kid. And I would love to play that one again. All right, Gumby, Stretch, Fraggle Rock. Okay, so you see they've got a whole bunch of other toys in the, yeah, whatever. And then we've got our tiny arcade instructions. And it's just pretty basic, plain on-off button. Start a game by pressing this button. If there's no activity for 20 seconds, it goes into sleep mode. Okay, and you do have to remove a screw for the batteries. Why do they keep doing that? I don't understand. I hate that. You know, oh, and the backside's black instead of doing black. The backside's black. How about blank? Can we try blank? It's all white. It's blank. Instead of doing it like half and half and just using like a shorter piece of paper, they do this. I don't understand. It's probably easier for them not have to flip it over, I guess. Anyway, all right. Oh, step 4. Did you see that on step 4? It says, have fun. If you're not having fun with this, you're not playing with it right. All right. So inside this plastic shell, we have another plastic shell, and then our arcade cabinet on a keychain. Now, I don't know, this, I get you want to show that it's small, so you say, oh, it's a keychain. That is a huge, that would be the most annoying keychain in the world to try to carry around. That would just be ridiculous. But I like the artwork on the side. You can see it's got that classic Space Invaders artwork with the Bigfoot thing walking across the moon. That is super cool. You've got the header card at the top. Unfortunately, it's not light up. So that does not light up, and I wish it did, because that would have been an extra nice touch. But I actually have some other tiny arcade things we'll talk about later, and I believe those do light up. All right, so you can see we've got the artwork here. We've got some artwork on the bottom, although they didn't put the little coin return thing. Same artwork on the back. And then back here, just there's where you got to unscrew to put in your batteries, because they always put screws because they hate you. All right, so switch this. As you can see, my fingers really do kind of get in the way here. It makes it a little tough to play this because my own hand is obscuring my ability to see these guys to shoot them, which really makes it tough to get through here. But it is, like it says, it's fully functional. You've got even emulating the classic style where the bottom was just an overlay, a green overlay on top of white graphics. And so they've done the job of putting that green stripe on the bottom to cover up you and to cover up your little shields there. The sounds are good. I'm not sure, like, if this is an arcade ROM. This doesn't appear to be like the Nintendo ROM, like in some of those other arcade machines that are out, the arcade classics. This one actually appears to be some type of actual arcade ROM. Now you can see it says 1978-2017, so this actually came out last year. But still, I'm going to turn this off because that's loud. But for being a fully functional arcade machine, this thing works really fantastically. If I wasn't trying to film it, I would be holding it probably in a different way. So It is possible for me to use it, and then my eyes are further up. The camera is more straight on. I'm actually sitting up higher, and I can actually play it a little bit better if I'm aiming it, directly towards my face, as opposed to, trying to get it all on the camera. But still, that is an awesome experience. That is really cool. All right, let's take a look at another one. All right, now first of all, I was totally wrong about something, and I will apologize to Taito, the Space Invaders people, and whatever company this is, SI Toys, Super Impulse, for not acknowledging the fact that these are the ones that light up. When I go to turn it on, you can actually see it does light up. And in fact, I didn't notice it so much on that one because I was too busy playing with it. I was in awe of the screen, but you can see that it does light up there on the top. So this header does light up. Again, you can see there's artwork. Not exactly, again, the coin returns would have been down here. And so I'm not sure that was on the machines. But I mean, that is that classic style. I've always wondered how that was supposed to be Pac-Man. But nonetheless, there it is. And you see, you've got the full board on there. It's not like it's just showing you a tiny bit, and it's doing the attract mode. So it's actually playing to try to get your attention. It wants you to go in and drop in your quarter and play classic arcade style. Well, Alright, so again, I apologize. I was talking while that was recording and making sound. I don't know how much of that actually came through, but yeah, it is much easier for me to see sitting up top than trying to look through the camera viewfinder. The camera puts my giant sausage fingers in the way, makes it really hard to see the bottom down here, but when I'm actually playing, it's not that bad. And again, the colors actually look right on the screen. Through my viewfinder on here, they don't look quite right. But they do look right while I'm actually playing. So that is awesome. Another thumbs up on that one. Alright, now Ms. Pac-Man, I have to admit, has always been one of my favorite arcade games after Tron. There's just something about the way the game was put together, structured. I think the story mode helps. I also like the mazes a lot in it. And there was a diner here in town that had a Ms. Pac-Man up until it got shut down in the late 90s. They had Ms. Pac-Man, and we used to play there all the time. It was also a diner that was open 24 hours, so when you were in high school and you were looking for someplace to hang out, especially late at night, you didn't have anywhere else to go, it was an awesome place to go and play Ms. Pac-Man. I love the artwork, and I love, of course, the game. And so, there we go. And again, I'm not sure how the colors are coming across on the camera. It is lighting up here. You have that full screen, and the colors do look correct as I'm looking at it with my eyes. May not be accurately represented in the camera, but it looks nice. And our final one here is Galaxian. And again, lights up at the top. Looks great. This one's a little more dusty. They do have, windows cut into the package. So this one's actually pretty dusty. I'm going to have to clean this one off a little bit better later. But again, you can see full color. Everything's fully represented. You've got the attract mode, running all the stuff on the screen, even playing there for a second to try to get you. The only thing, of course, is the giant copyright down at the bottom. That looks to be a little different. But yes, so let's play this for a minute. Okay, so it is a little difficult, especially on one like this, where you're shooting, a tiny little piece of laser, whatever it is. Piece of laser? Did I just say that? I did. It's a little more difficult because you're shooting at these tiny things, kind of like Space Invaders was. It's much more difficult to gauge how far to move and when to shoot. But again, it has a good feel to it. It has a good look. It's probably one of those, play it enough, take some time, get some practice. It'll probably come a whole lot easier as the more you do it. But it does feel like I'm playing the arcade machine. Like it does have that good arcade feel to it. So once again, really impressed. I like this. So all 4 of these machines really impressed me. Like I said, I bought one originally just thinking, hey, I'll get one, I'll play around with it, and I won't worry about the rest. But then when I actually started knocking them over, when I actually started playing them and saw how cool they actually were, I had to get the rest. These are real arcade machines. They just happen to be incredibly tiny. Now, again, they say that they are keychains, and I think that's just part of like, hey, they're so small, they could be a keychain. Well, they're not really that small. The whole keychain thing is a gimmick that I don't think anyone would actually want to use. It would just be a giant pain in the butt. But as far as like, having these things, again, on your desk at work, sitting next to your computer, maybe even sitting in the car if you've got a train you've got to wait for or something. I mean, these are fun little machines, and it does feel, even though it's tiny, it does feel like an arcade machine, and you can almost turn off part of your mind that knows that they're not really, an arcade machine, that it's just this tiny little thing. Once you get into the game and start playing, the size of it really doesn't make a difference. Now, the graphics on some of them are a little, choppy, like in Ms. Pac-Man, or Galaxian. Some of the text is kind of hard to read on the screen because they've tried to crunch it so small onto that screen. But for the most part, these things are awesome. These are the types of things that I'll be having on my shelves next to my computers. I will be playing them from time to time. I love just the idea of the arcade feel. Even if these weren't playable, they'd be awesome collectibles to have sitting there. But the fact that you actually can press a button and start playing makes them all that much more awesome. So, total thumbs up, 2 thumbs up from this guy. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.
You dirty, rotten red bastard.